Hello and welcome back to the channel.
Today we're talking about Istanbul, formerly known as Constantinople, why you need to go there, and how to get the most out of your trip.
This city has been one of the most important in the world for millennia, and it is a must-do for any world travel plan. Welcome to World Wanderers.
We're Alicia and Will.
Come wander the world with us.
Istanbul was founded as Byzantium by Greek settlers 2,700 years ago.
It became the capital of the Roman Empire in 330 AD and is renamed Constantinople.
And it remained the capital until the Turks took over the city in 1453.
The name Istanbul is derived from the Ottoman version of Constantinople and slowly took over until the 1930s when the Turkish government made it official.
Istanbul sits at the crossroads of Asia and Europe and served as the imperial capital for 1,600 years.
It is the only city in the world that lies on two different continents, separated by the Bosphorus.
This has created a city that is full of history, cultural diversity, artistic richness, and incredible people.
Because of how much there is to see and do in Istanbul, we recommend at least 4 to 7 days.
Definitely. And for longer stays, the Istanbul Tourist Pass is a really good idea.
This pass includes most of the historical and cultural sites in one price, as well as a discount on the unlimited travel pass we will talk about later.
The Tourist Pass also includes a lot of activities like dinner cruises, breakfast cruises on the Bosphorus, zip lines, the whirling dervishes, which are famous traditional Turkish dancers, and much more.
The tourist pass can be bought for 1 to 10 days, and prices range from €140 for the 1 day to €290 for the 10-day pass.
For shorter stays, or if you only plan on hitting the major highlights, then paying the individual fees may work out to be more affordable.
But it's definitely worth checking out and doing the math for your plans. We'll include a link in the description if you'd like to look into it some more.
Our next topic is a quick one, but an important one: how to get around the city.
Istanbul is a large city with a lot to see and do all over the place.
The best way to get around on a budget is the public transit.
The city buses, trains, trams, and funiculars are excellent and offer convenient and affordable access all over.
We recommend getting the Istanbul City Card, which you may also see called the Unlimited Transportation Card or Istanbul Cart.
This gives you unlimited access to the transit network at one price, and it can be purchased in 1 to 15-day increments with prices ranging from €30 to €105.
The ticket includes the Taksim Tunnel tram, which is a historic tram that hails back to the early 1900s and is both a great photo op and an excellent way to get around.
All right, now that we have some of the logistics out of the way, let's dive into this amazing city. The first area we want to talk about is the Sultanahmet Square and the surrounding neighborhood.
This is where we'd recommend staying, as it's right at the heart of the old city, and there are numerous hotels for every budget and taste.
The area is also home to hundreds of small shops and restaurants, so if you're in the market for a handmade Turkish rug or hungry for some amazing Turkish food, that you're never far away from an excellent place to find them.
And most of the shops will also serve Turkish tea and coffee to patrons, both of which are a definite must-try.
Yeah, to me, the Turkish tea kind of tasted like warm apple juice, but it was
With
really
cinnamon.
good. Yeah.
And at the center of this neighborhood is where you'll find Sultanahmet Square, a beautiful park where the ancient Roman hippodrome once stood.
It was the site of major sporting events and the heart of city's social and political life. The two main teams were the Venetoi, the Blues, and the Prasinoi, Greens.
Team allegiances came to combine sport and politics, which led to massive riots in time of strife.
This culminated in the Nika riots in 532, in which 30,000 people died, after which the hippodrome fell into ruin.
The emperors brought monuments from all over the empire and had put them on display in the hippodrome.
A number of these statues, obelisks, and columns can still be seen in the square today.
At one end of the square is the Hagia Sofia. It was built in 537 by Justinian I and is one of the most beautiful and important structures ever erected.
It was the largest cathedral in the world for 1,000 years, and the interior is stunning beyond words.
Yeah, from the beautiful marble floors to the massive dome that seems to float on light up above, every inch is beautifully decorated.
The designs cover millennia of Roman carvings and mosaics, Turkish paintings, and even some Viking ruins carved by the Varangian Guard.
If you enjoy history, architecture, or art, the Hagia Sophia is the #1 thing to see in Istanbul. An entrance is currently about $27.
At the other end of the square is the Blue Mosque, also known as the Sultanahmet Mosque.
It's an iconic example of Ottoman architecture. It was completed in 1616 to the role of Sultanahmet I. The mosque is renowned for its stunning blue Iznik tiles that adorn the interior, giving the mosque its popular name.
Its architectural design harmonizes traditional Islamic elements with Byzantine influences, reflecting the proximity and historical connection to the neighboring Hagia Sophia.
As with most of the active mosques in Istanbul, entrance is free.
Our third must-see stop is at the edge of Sultanahmet Square, is the Basilica Cistern.
This massive cistern was built after the Nika riots of 532 and can hold 2.8 million cubic feet of water, but it's most famous for its 336 massive marble columns that make it look like an underground forest.
These columns were recycled from other structures across the empire that had fallen into disrepair, and many are intricately decorated.
The most famous example of these are the peacock columns, which are covered in peacock feather carvings, and then the Medusa head columns, which have these massive carved Medusa heads sitting like upside down or on their side at the base of the column.
The marble forest and vaulted lighting give it a very mysterious feel, and it's definitely worth checking out.
For sure. Next up is Topkapi Palace. This sprawling complex served as the seat of the Ottoman governance for nearly 400 years, from construction in the late 1460s until the completion of the Dolmabahçe Palace in 1856.
Encompassing a complex of courtyards, pavilions, and gardens, Topkapi Palace was a city within a city, where the sultans and their courts lived in opulence.
The architectural design showcases a fusion of Islamic, Ottoman, and Byzantine styles, reflecting the empire's cultural and artistic zenith.
Notable sections of the palace include the imperial harem, the treasury, which houses a vast collection of jewels and artifacts, and the sacred relics chamber, which contains relics of religious significance, such as the Prophet Muhammad's cloak and sword.
The courtyard gardens are stunning and worth a stroll in every season. It's filled with a lot of big, beautiful, and ancient trees, and I really love big trees.
Yes, if you've watched any of our other videos, you might have noticed this is a pattern. We love trees.
Yeah. You're definitely going to want a few hours to explore and take in all the architectural, artistic, and historic beauty that this palace has to offer.
Admission is currently $50 US.
This next destination has no entrance fee, but you'll almost certainly leave with less money than when you entered.
We're talking about the Grand Bazaar. This labyrinth of shops, cafes, and restaurants is like nowhere else we've been.
Yeah, the Grand Bazaar has 31 covered streets over nearly 334,000 square feet, which is 31,000 square meters, and draws hundreds of thousands of visitors every day.
Construction started on the bazaar in 1455 and finished in 1460, making it one of the oldest continuously active shopping and trading centers in the world. And I love shopping. I did a lot of shopping. Bring an extra suitcase.
There are shops selling tea, spices, jewelry, rugs, clothes, like anything you can imagine, antiques, paintings, so on and so on, as well as some really great cafes selling all sorts of varieties of food, teas, and coffees.
The combination of Ottoman architecture and art with every type of shop and eatery imaginable and a bustling atmosphere is truly unique.
The next stop on our list is Chora Church.
A former Byzantine church originally built in the early 4th century, the church underwent significant renovations and expansions during the 11th and 14th centuries, resulting in an exquisite structure that stands today.
Chora Church is a significant cultural and historical site, attracting visitors who admire its artistic and architectural heritage.
Renowned for its stunning mosaics and frescoes, Chora Church is a prime example of Byzantine art and architecture.
These artworks, which depict biblical scenes and the lives of saints, are celebrated for their intricate detail, vivid colors, and emotional expressiveness, and are some of the most well-preserved Byzantine mosaics out there.
Admission is currently $10 US.
Not far from Chora Church are the remnants of Constantinople's famous walls. These walls were built by Theodosius II in the early 5th century and are truly impressive.
They have 3 elements: the massive inner wall and the slightly smaller and lower outer wall, and then the moat.
Yeah. The walls stretched all the way from the Golden Horn to the Sea of Marmara and were fortified every 50 to 80 meters with large towers.
They protected the city through many sieges for 1,000 years before finally falling to the after 2 months of bombardment by Ottoman cannons in 1453.
Those are definitely worth a visit, and walking along the ramparts gives a great view of the surrounding city.
Before heading across the Golden Horn, we'd recommend visiting Yeni Cami and Soleymaniye Mosque.
Yeni Cami, also known as the New Mosque, and Suleymaniye Mosque are two of Istanbul's most iconic and architecturally significant Ottoman mosques.
Located in the Eminönü district, Yeni Cami, completed in 1665, stands prominently at the southern end of the Galata Bridge overlooking the Golden Horn. Its impressive structure, characterized by two central dome flanked by semi-domes and two slender minarets, exemplifies classic Ottoman architecture.
The mosque interior features intricate Iznik tile work, marble pillars, and elaborate calligraphy, reflecting the empire's artistic heritage.
Suleymaniye Mosque, designed by the famed architect Mimar Sinan and completed in 1557, dominates one of Istanbul's 7 hills.
Commissioned by Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent, this grand mosque complex includes a vast courtyard, 4 minarets, and a striking central dome surrounded by smaller domes and semi-domes. Suleymaniye Mosque's interior is truly majestic, adorned with stained glass windows, finely detailed mihrab and minbar, and elegant calligraphy. Heading across the Golden Horn to the newer part of Istanbul, you'll find Beyoglu.
Beyoglu is a vibrant district known for its rich cultural heritage, bustling nightlife, and eclectic mix of historic and modern attractions.
Located on the European side of Istanbul, it stretches from the banks of the Golden Horn to the Bosporus Strait.
The heart of Beyoglu is Istiklal Avenue, a lively pedestrian street lined with shops, cafes, restaurants, and galleries, which culminates at Taksim Square, a major cultural and political hub.
This district is also home to the Galata Tower, which offers stunning panoramic views of the city, especially at sunset.
This neighborhood is more modern and cosmopolitan and is a good place to stay if you're looking for nightlife. I like to be in bed by like 9 p.m., so I'm never looking for nightlife, but it was definitely a charming area.
Our final must-see in Istanbul is Dolmabahçe Palace.
Located along the Bosphorus Strait in Istanbul, Turkey, is an opulent symbol of the Ottoman Empire's final years.
Constructed between 1843 and 1856 under the orders of Sultan Abdülmecid I, the palace reflects the empire's desire to modernize and westernize its image.
The design of the palace is a blend of various European architectural styles, including Baroque, Rococo, and Neoclassical, combined with traditional Ottoman elements.
Covering 45,000 square meters with 285 rooms and 46 halls and extensive gardens, the palace served as the main administrative center of the empire until the establishment of the Turkish Republic in 1923.
The palace's interior is lavishly decorated with gold leaf, crystal chandeliers, and richly woven carpets, with the world's largest Bohemian crystal chandelier adorning the ceremonial hall.
The site's lush gardens, waterfront location, and meticulously preserved rooms attract countless tourists and history enthusiasts.
The palace not only represents the grandeur and decline of the Ottoman Empire, but it also serves as a bridge to the modern era, encapsulating a pivotal moment in Turkish history.
Now for some final tips.
Bring a shawl or something to cover your shoulders and head for entering the various mosques. Many require it, and you will need to purchase one if you don't have it.
If you're interested in buying a Turkish rug, there are a number of websites that can help you find reputable manufacturers or how to tell which manufacturers and shops are more reputable. You can also watch the rugs being made in the shops, which is really cool.
It's a really good photo op too if you'd like a colorful picture. Rug making is a Turkish tradition going back millennia. There are various types, all of which are beautiful.
Yeah, these rugs are on par or exceed the Persian rugs that are pretty famous, both for their durability and beauty, with many lasting for decades or more. Some examples are known to be centuries old.
Yeah, we stopped at a shop near Sultanahmet and spent some time learning about the rugs before we did end up buying one. And we definitely don't regret the purchase. They wrapped it up really small for us to bring back in our carry-on. So it was great, and we still love it to this day.
Yeah, I love it. Also, consider visiting outside of peak tourist season.
Istanbul is busiest and hottest in the summer months. We visited in winter right after Christmas, and we're really glad we did.
Yeah, it was one of the rare occasions where it snowed fairly heavily in Istanbul, and the snow was covering the buildings and the trees, and it's different than the common images of the city.
It also made our Turkish apple tea and Turkish coffee that the many shops gave out that much more enjoyable.
For sure. Spring is also a really beautiful time to visit the city as all the gardens and parks are starting to bloom and are covered in flowers, but it's not yet sweltering hot like it can be in summer.
If we missed something or you have something to add, tell us in the comments. We're always looking for travel advice, and we know we'll be going back to Istanbul many times.
Mhm. And don't forget to like and subscribe as well.
Safe travels.